Hello everyone, welcome to Driven Math and Physics. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We're continuing with the factor theorem that we were looking at in the previous video. Now today I want to give you an alternative method that can really help, especially if you don't want to do all this factor theorem. It looks like a long process where you just go through trial and error and all that, but the best way is this one. You have to simply find the first factor. Once you find one factor, then you employ the long division to find the rest of the factors. Let me show you. Okay, so let's do the same example that we're doing in the previous video, same one. Okay, but now we have possible factors of the constant 6 there. Okay, so we're saying the first one will be x is equal to 1. That means x minus 1 equals 0. That means our divisor g of x, or our polynomial factor that we're going to try, is x minus 1. Okay, and in the previous example we found this one, x minus 1, as a factor. So after finding that using factor theorem, okay, you're going to employ long division. Okay, so you write down your dividend, make sure they're in order, remember the rules. 6x to the power 2 plus 11x minus 6. Then we use that factor we found to divide into that. So x into x to the power 3 is actually x to the power 2 times x to the power 3. X to the power 2 times negative 1 is negative x to the power 2. Subtract the 2. Then x to the power 3 minus x to the power 3 gives you a 0. Negative 6x squared minus x squared. Negative 6x squared minus x squared gives you minus 5x squared. We drop down the 11x. X into negative 5x squared gives us minus 5x. Minus 5x times x minus 5x squared minus 5x times negative 1 gives us positive 5x. So we subtract the 2. What we end up getting there is 0. 11x minus 5x. Okay, 11x minus 5x gives us 6x minus 6. Okay, now x into 6x gives us plus 6. Okay, 6 times x is 6x. 6 times negative 1 gives us negative 6. We subtract the 2, end up getting a 0. Okay, we end up getting a 0. Okay, so this means we can write it like this. X to the power 3, the dividend, 6x squared plus 11x minus 6. This one should give us, remember how we're writing the divisor multiplied by the quotient. Okay, minus 5x plus 6. I could have added the remainder, but the remainder is 0, so it's the same thing. Now remember, the first factor found it as that. We want to factorize this thing, so we're having a quadratic equation there. So to find the other factor, we just need to factorize that. So it's x minus 1, and then this one will be x times to the power 2. Okay, and then we'll have, since the middle term is negative, it means the bigger number is negative, minus 2x plus 6. Those are the factors. And then there is x minus 1. Then here, through grouping, we end up getting x minus 3, and then negative 2x minus 3. Okay, then from there we'll get x minus 1, okay, x minus 2, and then x minus 3. This is your answer. You have factorized this cubic function, so you write it there, 6x squared plus 11x minus 6. If you don't want to go through the trial and error process, we are simply trying all these numbers. Let's take, we never found that 2 and 3 were factors. It means we'll have to try all these up to negative 6. Okay, but the easiest way is to just find one factor. Once you find one factor, employ the long division. From the long division, factorize what you get as a quotient. It will give you all the factors. Okay, I hope that makes sense. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Very, very easy. Okay, now let's look at another concept. Simply employing all the theorems that we've been doing, from long division to remainder theorem to factor theorem. Now we're going to use it to solve cubic equations. Okay, let's look at cubic equations. Okay. Now, factorize the polynomial, that one. Okay, let's write it down. They're saying, example, factorize the polynomial x to the power 3 minus 9x squared plus 23x minus 15. Okay, and solve the equation x to the power 3 minus 9x squared plus 23x minus 15 equals 0. Okay, now remember, we will write down our polynomial, this one. Okay, and the constant is negative 15. Okay, negative 15 is our constant. Now pay attention to this. Okay, the number is negative, so we'll say possible factors of negative 15. These ones will be negative 1. Okay, we can have 3, 5, negative 3, negative 5. Then we can also have 15 and negative 15 as our factors. And also, oh my goodness, I forgot, positive 1. Okay, we can have all those factors. Okay, these ones, if you multiply them, they end up giving us 15 if they multiply against each other one way or the other. Okay, now let's start with x equals negative 1. Okay, therefore f of x will be equal to negative 1 there, and then it will be equal to negative 1 to the power 3 minus 9x squared plus, no, what am I doing? On 9 we put negative 1 squared plus 23. Wow, okay, 23 negative 1 minus 15. Okay, negative 1 will give us negative 1 there. Negative 1 squared is positive 1 minus 9 there minus 23 minus 15. Here it gives us minus 10, and then minus 23 is it gives us what? Okay, so minus 10, and then let's write it down, minus 10. Okay, minus 10, this is minus minus 38. Okay, that gives us minus 48. This is not a factor. Okay, so let's do another one, f of 3. That gives us 3 to the power 3 minus 9 to the power 3 to the power 2 plus 23 times 3 minus 15. This gives us 27 minus 9 times 9, 81. 23 times 3 is plus 9, then 6, 69. Okay, and then minus 15. Okay, just to make sure we do it quickly, is 27 minus 81 plus 69 minus 15. This gives us a 0. Therefore, x to the is equal to 3. This gives us x minus 3 equals 0. Therefore, the factor is g of x equals x minus 3. This one will work. Okay, so now from there, to find the rest of the factors, remember, to factorize this completely, we have to do what? We have to do long division. Okay, we found one factor, we're remaining with how many? This is x to the power 3, so we're remaining with 3 factors. Okay, so let's do long division. So this is how it's going to be. So we need to make sure that these things are in order of descending powers and they don't have any missing terms. From the looks of it, they don't. So it's x to the power 3 minus 9x squared plus 23x minus 15. And then here we put x minus 3. x into x to the power 3 is x to the power 2. X to the power 2 times that, x to the power 3 this times that, 3x squared minus, okay, so x to the power 3 minus x to the power 3 is 0. Negative 9x squared minus 3x squared, okay, negative 9x squared minus 3x squared, that gives us negative 6x squared, okay, and then plus 23x. All right, x into negative 6x squared gives us negative 6x, times that is negative 6x squared. Negative 6x times negative 3 gives us plus 18x. When we subtract the two, what we end up getting here is 0. 23 minus 18, that gives us 5x minus 15, okay. X into 5x plus 5, okay, 5 times x is 5x, 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. When we subtract the two, we get a 0. So this is how we'll write it, okay, this is how we'll write it. So it will be the dividend x to the power 3 minus 9x plus 9x squared plus 23x minus 15 is equal to x minus 3 times the quotient 6x plus 5, okay. So remember, we can factorize the quotient. X minus 3, this one is x squared. The factors can be 5 and 1, okay, so that will be minus 5x minus x plus 5, okay. So this one equals x minus 3, okay, minus 3, and then here it will be, excuse me, okay, it will be, we write that, so it will be x minus 5 negative 1x minus 5, okay, so that will be x minus 3, x minus 1, and then x minus 5. This is how you factorize everything. That should be your factorization. So now remember, we're supposed to calculate for the equation, okay. So if the factorization is that, this means that the equation itself, this one, x to the power 3 minus 9x squared plus 23x minus 15 equals 0. This one becomes x minus 1, x minus 3, x minus 5 equals 0. Therefore, either x minus 1 equals 0, x minus 3 equals 0, or x minus 5 equals 0. Therefore, x equals 1, x equals 3, or x equals 5. This is how you would solve the problem, okay. I hope this makes sense. These things is a long process, but it's better. Find one factor. After finding that one factor, use long division to factorize the whole polynomial. After I factorized it, you can equate it to 0 to calculate for the value of x in the equation. That will be the answer, okay. That will be the answer. Now I want you to try this one, okay, at your own time. Try this one. Let's see, let's try this one. Homework. Okay. Say 2x to the power 3 Alright, so we'll stop there and continue another time.